And you can't hate your existence, hate your life, and expect to get paid for living your life because you hate it. Hello, guys. Today I want to talk about getting paid to exist. And I remember I was introduced to this concept maybe 4 years ago. And I, at the time, was pretty burnt out from my engineering job. And I thought it meant like doing absolutely nothing and money would just come to you. And now, 4 years later, I have a better understanding of what it really means to get paid to exist. And I want to share it with you guys. So, what does it mean to get paid to exist? The way I like to look at it as instead of paying to exist, meaning that you're paying to exist because you have to give away your time to a corporate job, you're in survival mode, fighting for your life, you instead are paid to be yourself. To exist. And this isn't about doing nothing all day. It's about designing a life that you can give to the world in the best way that fits who you are and your natural gifts and your talents. And you can work as much or as little as you want to or need to in that season of life, especially for us women, because now that I get paid to exist, I'm able to make my work based off of my menstrual cycle. When I'm in my ovulation phase, I know that that's like my inner summer, that I can go hard and I can work a ton and get a lot of things done. And I know when it's my inner winter, like when I actually have my flow, that I'm able to slow down and maybe not schedule any meetings or just not post that week because I know my cycle, or I can plan ahead of time, or it could be the seasons of life. So if you're a new mother, or you're pregnant, or you just got married, maybe there's other things that you want to focus on and it's not work. And if you are already getting paid to exist, then it won't matter what season of life you are in because you will always be getting paid. So the key to being able to get paid is knowing what your gifts and your talents and your passions are. Everyone has skills, has gifts that feel effortless to them, that they could do all night for no work and just have so much fun. And those are the things that you should be leaning into to be able to get paid to exist. Then another really important thing to consider is your values. What matters to you more than money and why? What is that underlying value for you? Like, I'll give you guys an example. For me, one of my key underlying values is being able to create the life that you want and understanding how our limiting beliefs, our fears, our doubts, and our worries can stop us from conquering those things that we want to achieve. And so that is something that I really value is our freedom and being able to create our own life. And so all my content, everything I do is built off of that main value. Another one of my values is creativity because creativity showed me who I was as a person. So I value creativity. I launched an affirmation deck specifically for creativity. That is another thing that a lot of the things that I create and I do is built off of. Thinking back to the path that it took for me to get paid to exist, I think that content creation is definitely one of those obvious, easy paths that you can see where you're getting paid to exist because people get on camera and they are themselves usually and they get paid to just show up on camera. So it's like very easy to see that paid to exist, but you don't have to be doing content creation to get paid to exist. You could be painting to get paid to exist. You could be a lawyer and getting paid to exist. There's a million different things that you could be doing and getting paid to exist. But I will say that on this journey that there were a lot of doubts, there were a lot of thoughts that crept into my mind that kind of made me think that maybe this wasn't possible. And also, like I talked about early, that burnout or being in survival mode will really make you feel like getting paid to exist is like this far off concept when really it's not. It's just you living in your purpose. And when you're living in your purpose, everything just feels like you're just existing. This is another important thing when it comes to getting paid to exist, that you have to do the healing and the inner work because you are your business. And so if you feel like crap, then your business will look like crap. And that's how you can always see how you are doing and your business is doing. If your business isn't doing well, there's probably something going on in your personal life. There's some beliefs, there's something there that may be holding you back or stopping you from doing what you want to do. So when you work on yourself, you work on your business. And you can't hate your existence, hate your life, and expect to get paid for living your life because you hate it. If you don't like yourself or your life or where you are, who's going to pay for that? Who's paying for that? I'm not paying for that energy. I wouldn't want to pay for that. So in order to get paid to exist, another thing that is really important is that you have to love your existence. You have to love your life. You have to love the things that you do. And this isn't to say that you need to get on a self improvement wheel because we don't do that on this channel, but you have to understand that you are worthy as you are, but you have to see that worth. And we are all inherently worthy just by existing. We are human beings. Just by being, we are worthy. But that has to sink into another level of understanding that you are worthy of getting paid to exist. And a part of that inner work is truly believing that you are worthy of being paid to exist. You are just inherently worthy to get paid to exist because we are human beings, not human doings. We do things by being our most authentic self, by creating the things that we want to create and following our passions and standing up for what we believe in. We are being who we are. And that is how we can start to get paid for just being those things. And if you don't see your worth, you need to be doing everything in your power to start seeing it. I would recommend doing some meditation every day. I'd recommend journaling on why you don't think you're worthy. You can also read this book on worthiness. I forgot the name, but I'll put it over here. And then also, I have a video where I talk about worthiness that you can check out as well. Really good because I struggled with worthiness a lot. And I think that that was one of the main blocks that I had when it comes to me getting paid to exist was worthiness. Oh, and one other thing you can do is you can ask loved ones, trusted loved ones, what do they admire about you? Or you can ask them what they love about you. And that's just to start building up that bank of that list of things, of just what makes you amazing. Because sometimes it's hard for us to see it ourselves because it's like either we think that we're amazing, we can do no wrong, or we're like, I'm not really seeing how I'm different than anybody else. And so it's really good to ask others what they see makes you stand out and what they admire about who you are. And to me, the purpose of life is to become a better version of yourself every day while having fun, while having the absolute most fun you can have. When I first used to say this a few years ago, I was kind of in a self improvement loop. So when I was saying better, I was meaning like more disciplined, faster, stronger, skinnier. That's not what I now interpret that to me when I say that about becoming a better version of yourself every day. To me, that now means just being happier every day by feeling more good all the time, by feeling more and more abundance and happiness and joy within myself every day. That's what it is to be better. It's not some outward stamp anymore of like, oh, better because I hit 99% of my goals today, or like I did everything on my list. Like, no, when I say better, I mean just feeling better, doing things that make me feel good, and having the most fun I could possibly have every single day. And getting paid to exist basically means that your existence is valuable to the world. And everybody's existence is valuable to the world, otherwise, they wouldn't be here. But if you don't see the value in your existence to the world, you have a limiting belief there. There's a block there that's going to stop you from being able to get paid to exist because you don't think your existence has any value. The next thing I want to talk about is rest. And I know that if you are a girly watching this channel, you probably have always been an overachiever, but maybe you just haven't been in alignment with what you really wanted to overachieve in or what you really wanted to do. But rest is so important. And this was a really difficult thing for me to understand and accept, but we have to rest, okay? I have a Virgo mom. I am a Virgo rising. Rest was just not a thing around my family or even to me. I'm like, no, like I rest. What are we sitting down for? We need to get up. I'm like, you should never be bored. Broke people should never be bored. Nicki Minaj said broke people should never laugh. I was saying broke people should never be bored. And that's kind of how I operated. But I now understand how rest is productive. And when you rest, you calm your nervous system down. You can calm your thoughts down, your body down, so you can get new ideas and new thoughts and new things that you want to start. But they couldn't get through because there was too much noise going on. That's why during the pandemic, a lot of people had their spiritual awakenings, including me, because we were sitting down, we were pausing, we were resting a bit. Because I would be going out like pretty much every day of the week after work to happy hours or networking. And so I never really sat down. But during the pandemic was the first time I was able to sit down. And I was like, oh, look around. I was like, oh my God. So understand that those periods of rest are important. And some people, when they hear this getting paid to exist, they're like, oh, I don't want to do anything. Like, I never ever want to move. And if that is you, I've briefly talked about this before, but you probably have a dysregulated nervous system. You are probably overworked. You've been working on things that do not matter to you, that you do not care about. And so it takes all your energy to complete the task and also override your body, everything in you saying not to do these things that you don't want to do. And so for that, it is going to take some time for you to come out of that survival mode. And I would recommend resting just resting. It could be 6 months, it could be a year, I don't know, but really allow yourself to rest. My first year after quitting my engineering job, I felt so guilty that I was resting so much. And I really wished, and I think that if I had just rested without guilt, that the process would have went so much quicker. But not only was I trying to reset my nervous system and regulate my nervous system, and get this rest, I also was trying to overcome this shame and guilt that I felt that I needed rest. But we're human. That's why we have 4 seasons. The plants are always blooming every day of the year. There are seasons for every single thing, and there's times to rest and reset. And you have to honor that in your body before you're truly able to get paid to exist. This is actually something I just thought about right now. I don't know if I'll put this in the video, but I'm just thinking about an apple tree. An apple tree that's on a farm and like maybe people are selling the apples, doesn't matter, but that we're driving the point of getting paid to exist. But that apple tree has a natural cycle, and nobody's mad at the apple tree because in the winter, it's chilling, or in the spring that it is starting to regrow, or trying to get the apple tree to produce apples 365 days a year, because that's not how an apple tree exists. That's not when you harvest the apples. You can't harvest the apples every single day. So I always like to look to nature for hints on how we as humans should be operating in our most natural state. And as women, we have our cycle. If you don't have a cycle, then you can follow the phases of the moon, the cycles of the moon. But if you have a cycle, that's a really good way of knowing when you are supposed to be slowing down and when you're supposed to be feeding up. Feeding up. For me, what it really is, it helps me to not feel guilty about when it is time to slow down, because I know sometimes I used to get frustrated or annoyed because I'm like, oh, I'm so tired this week. Oh, my period is this week. Like, oh my God, I'm slowing down. It's like now, and now to me, when that happens, I honor it. And I'm like, okay, great. This is my rest time. So if you're not going to honor your beingness, it's going to be hard to get paid to exist. And I know at the beginning of this video, I said that I've been working on this for 4 years, but that's because there was so much programming and limiting beliefs that I had to overcome and work through in order to really be in the mindset and beliefs and in alignment with who I am to be paid to exist. And it's going to be like a complete 180, right? Because you're going from paying to exist, meaning you're giving away your time for money, you're doing things that you don't really want to do that are in alignment with who you really are, to the complete opposite of just being paid to exist. And I won't lie, when I first started on this journey, there were times when I felt guilty, and there were times when I felt lazy, and there were times when I felt like I was in on a little secret that not a lot of other people knew. And I wanted to tell everybody, and I did tell a lot of people. And also, people just saw that I was getting paid to have fun. I was getting paid to be myself. I was getting paid to go try restaurants. I was getting paid to go to new cities and just experience it and enjoy myself and pay attention to my senses, which are things that I enjoy. I was getting paid to read tarot. I was getting paid to read astrology charts, because those are all things that I enjoy doing. I just do them. I would do them anyway. So, in summary, you can get paid to exist. It's not something that's far off or impossible or this scam scheme. It's really just about being in alignment with who you truly are. And when you are in alignment with who you are and you follow your passions and you make the most of your skills and your experiences, and you know what you value and you know what you can do for hours and hours without getting tired, it'll be very easy for you to start building a life where you are paid to just exist. And give yourself permission to rest and to heal so that you can get in alignment. And like I said, 4 years for me. I've been working on this for 4 years. And I'm just feeling like in the last 8 months that it's been consistent, that I feel like I'm consistently getting paid to exist, quote unquote. It's been happening over the last 4 years, but like I feel like these last 8 months has been consistent. And I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop down any questions you have about getting paid to exist or anything else you guys want to hear me talk about. See you next time. Bye.